Okay, welcome back to part 2 of the keyframe video. What we're looking at here right now, we've added this text-rich information here to the opaque. The other one still goes behind it and drops down. So the point is, when opacity is here in this sequence, then the text-rich is not opaque, yet it happened to the same timeline to make everything on the timeline opaque, so I thought. But the text-rich isn't obeying that. If I move it back down, now it will go ahead and start it again. It is in fact opaque. The text-rich is opaque. So there's something peculiar going on here, something very peculiar. I haven't figured it out, but that won't prevent me from going on with the rest of this lesson. Okay, what we want to do now, we want to look at the size and position rotate. We've talked about how it positioned in the previous part 1 of the video. We showed it just doing the size position change. Now we're going to add rotation to it also. So right here at this point, we're going to set it to 0 degrees, which starts out at 0 degrees. Here we're going to set it to 180 degrees. Over here it's going to be back to 0 degrees again. So as it moves, because of the size and position, these keyframes out here, it's also honoring the keyframes of rotation. So we can watch that for a second. So there's a rotation of 180, and then it rotates back 180 the other way, which puts it back to 0. Then it stays 0 through the end. And as you can see, that was all done by this rotation column down here, this rotation line in the keyframes visual. The text-rich, which I provided, like I said, it shouldn't be displaying right now, but for some reason it does. So there's something really weird going on here. If I go ahead and play this, if I rewind it first, if I play this, the text-rich shouldn't show up till right there, okay? If I deselect this, go back to beginning, then the text-rich does in fact show up where it should, and it disappears where it should, and it honors the opacity. So there's something a little strange going on with this text-rich, and I can't explain it at this time. If I ever find out, I'll do another video on this particular problem. Meanwhile, I think you've seen now how we can select the timeline, select size and position, and we can go back to keyframes and we can see what's affecting this image, making it travel across the screen. So at this point I want to bring in another topic, and that is these little symbols down here, these keyframe symbols. Okay, at this point we have these symbols showing. This comes out of the manual, the shortcut manual on the internet. From previous, we can ease out elastic, and that's what we did. We eased out elastic from the previous. So by doing that, turn this off for a second. We come back here, and you see that it does an elastic. It's like it's on a bungee cord when it starts to move. The move gets delayed, and then it jerks, and then it bounces a little bit. That all happened because of this particular, this is from previous, ease out. Ease out elastic. We're going to go linear. We're going to go linear to the next one. And then this one here is also linear. So we go back to the beginning. Put this back down here. It got up there somehow. Somebody previously got moved somehow. And we play it, it springs up to there. Then it rotates around and moves gently, linearly over to this corner. And then it drops down here and bounces. So that's done by these keyframes. And like we said earlier, this little chart shows you what each one does. Now actually, I've ran through a lot of these and they're not that provoking. They're not that ostentatious. They're just little changes, except for the come out on a bungee cord and a drop and bounce. Those two are pretty obvious. And that's probably the ones you'll find the most use for. So this linear versus smooth, basically the linear plots a straight line from one keyframe to the next keyframe, whereas the smooth plots sort of a French curve between 3 or more of these keyframe points. So it makes a nice smooth transition and not just a straight line between each point. So that's the major difference between linear and smooth. So the manual explains these things not very well. It's very, very short descriptions. But the more you use them, the more you understand what these differences are. They're hard to demonstrate these differences because they're not significant differences, as far as I can tell. Of course, I haven't done all of them yet either. So if you run through and try doing some of these things, you might find out something that you like. So basically, this is what I had to say in the part 2 of using these keyframes. So I hope it helps you in the future with your videos.